Hi, my name is Greg Dietz, and I'm one of the counselors here at Lancaster Catholic. And today, I'm excited to show you a presentation for our Naviance software. This is college and career software that we're using with all of our students beginning in grade 9 and follows them up through grade 12. And now that we have all of our student accounts made up, it was time to look at setting up parent accounts. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit today about how to access a Naviance account and what kind of tools and resources you can find using this software. So as I mentioned, I want you to see what it is, get your account activated, and also give you a quick tour of the software. So, what is Naviance? Naviance is a college and career readiness platform that helps students connect academic achievement to post-secondary goals and success. This is a great tool for college and career research, and your student's counselor will be walking your student through all of the great resources in the Naviance software package over the course of grades 9 through 12. And as I mentioned, you can also get access to some of these materials as well, so you can see the things that your student is working on. So students can do career planning in here. There are a number of different assessments and inventories they can do, and here you can see some of them here. There's a learning style inventory, personality inventories. They can build a resume. In terms of college planning, they can search for different schools. A lot of the application process is going to be monitored using Naviance software, and our seniors this year have really been digging in and doing a lot of work in here, such as requesting transcripts, requesting letters of recommendation. We do a lot of stuff with college process in this software, and also success planning. So talking about goal setting, keeping a journal of what's going on. So lots of great tools within this software. As for parents, family members can use this to access Naviance Student because it allows you to view the work that your student is doing. You can't necessarily go in there and take assessments as a student, but you can go in and see what results your student has. You can also go in and do your own college searches to get more information about schools that might be a good fit for your student. So you can view everything in here. You can't necessarily do a whole lot, but you can at least sit down with your student and look at what they're working on. All right, so parents, how do we get logged in? First thing is, you have to navigate to the Naviance website. And the Naviance website is specially tailored to our Lancaster Catholic School. So you can get to this by going to the LCHS counseling page off of the main LCHS page under the Academics tab. Go to College and Career Planning, and then click on the planning timeline, and there's a link right here to the LCHS Naviance page. Or you can simply go to the URL that I've typed out here. You can just pause it and go right there in your browser. Once you get to the LCHS Naviance page, if it's your first time here, you're going to look on the right where it says, "Are you new here?" and click "I need to register." Every family member will be receiving a registration code, so if you haven't received that email yet, don't worry, we'll be sending that out right before our Christmas break. Once you do get that registration code, you're going to type it right in here, click register, and then it will prompt you to put in your email address and a password for your account. Your student has their own account, so please don't use a student email address. You're going to use your own email address and make your own password for your parent Naviance account. And then if you do happen to forget your password in the future, you can use their forgot password tool. We cannot do anything to reset that password on our end. And then you can come right back to that Naviance website and log in using the email address that you provided and the password. That will get you logged in. So, what does Naviance have to offer? Once you've logged in, you're going to see a bunch of different tabs and a lot of information here. I should note that you'll notice up here it says Switch Child. We took the time to make sure that any families who have multiple students within the school, you're using one registration code to get access to all of your students. So that is a feature. You don't have to have separate logins for separate students. You can just switch child up here if you have multiple students. So this is the home page. If you scroll down a little bit, there are some more things down there. As students are assigned tasks, they would come up here. This is from earlier this year when we had colleges coming in. Students could see that here. And then there are some links down at the bottom. This has been updated to include things such as SAT registration, ACT registration, the NCAA Eligibility Center, and we'll continue to update links there as necessary. So as I mentioned, there are three main tabs up here: colleges, careers, About Me. My planner has some stuff in it too, but those are the big ones. So in About Me, you can see surveys. Students can make their resume in there. They can see their test scores. If there's a portfolio that they've worked on putting things together, they can see that. And there's also a number of different assessments that they can do. Multiple intelligences, learning styles inventory, career searches. So all of these assessments are located in here once a student has taken them or they're available. I should note that not every assessment is available to every student all the time. We have a curriculum that's been laid out so that 9th graders see assessments at one time, 10th graders see assessments at a different time, and we don't want our 9th grade students completing the 10th grade assessments until it's time for them to do so. So once you get to the senior year, all of those assessments are open to you, but they're shortened out, and you're only going to see what exactly pertains to that grade level or what you've already had access to in the past. So that's About Me. Click on My Stuff under About Me. That's where they can see the resume. It's great for students to be completing this every year. And after putting in a bunch of activities, they can actually use this Naviance tool to format their resume into a PDF so that they can download it to take to a job interview and use that as necessary. Also, all test scores go into Naviance. They're manually uploaded, whether it's PSAT, SAT, ACT, or AP scores. They're all put into a Naviance profile. I do want to make note that if a student is applying to college, all of those scores must still be sent through the testing agency, whether that's College Board or ACT, but it's in there for students to look at. And again, we talked about the different assessments that are available for students. And here, if you want to pause it, you can look to see what exactly each of these assessments are. But your student will be guided through all of these assessments at some point in their time at Lancaster Catholic with a counselor. All right, so looking at the Careers tab, you have three main things: Careers I'm Thinking About, Exploring Careers, and Road Trip Nation. Careers I'm Thinking About are simply careers that students will have saved over the course of time by going through and doing different assessments with their counselor in the classroom or in the individual setting. So that will build as students continue to work through those. Explore, this is where students can go and search for different jobs. Maybe it's based on a keyword, maybe they have a very specific interest. If they've completed an assessment that gives them a Holland code, they can search by that. And then Road Trip Nation. This is a bunch of interviews with people in tons and tons of different fields that touch on a number of careers, topics, and themes. Your student will get to see this. This is a 9th grade lesson, so the 9th graders this year will get to experience Road Trip Nation, but Road Trip Nation is available to anybody in the school, regardless of grade level. So exploring a career, as I mentioned, excuse me, as I mentioned, there are a number of different ways that students can look for careers in here. And any career that they find, they can see related careers. They can see the most important skills, abilities, and knowledge areas that they need to have in order to do well in this career. So that way, if a student says, I really want to be an accountant, but I really don't like math, they can start to think about, maybe that's not the best fit for me. They can see what they might do in a typical work day and also see annual wage averages based off of the state that we live in or across the country. So lots and lots of tools for career searching. We're excited to start doing more career exploration with students as early as 9th grade and having that follow them through in 10 through 12. All right, so this last major tab, the Colleges tab, and students will really start to use Naviance a whole lot once they get to senior year. This is our first year that we've had access to it for our seniors, and it has been such a great tool and resource for them this year. So if you have a senior this year and they haven't talked about Naviance, feel free to ask them, hey, what's going on with this Naviance thing? They should have a pretty good answer for you. So in here, students can put colleges that they're thinking about. This list can build over time. It might start as early as 9th grade. Colleges I'm applying to. This is what the students will use once they get to senior year and finally decide this is where my applications are going. Under Find Your Fit, they have a bunch of different tools that will help students to find the right school for them. Same thing under Research Colleges. Again, some more tools, and I'll walk you through those here in a little bit. Also, under Apply to College, students will manage all of their letters of rec through here. So teachers will submit their letters of rec through Naviance on the teacher side of things. And then counselors can also manage all kinds of different documents in here, including transcripts and anything else that might need to be sent in terms of reports that colleges need. And then something that's very important to our families, scholarships and money. There's a national scholarship search that's available in here. And eventually we hope to put our Lancaster Catholic local scholarships in here as well. So it's kind of a one-stop shop for that. All right, so just some college tools that are available. There is the Supermatch. This is a really great tool in terms of putting in what a student wants in a college and then finding matches. So based off of where is it located? How hard is it to get into a school? What are they looking for in terms of test scores and GPA? Who's on campus? What kind of activities are available? What sports are there? How much does it cost? The student can put in a number of criteria to really start to narrow down what the best fit for them is in terms of the school. Scattergrams. I love this. This is showing you information based on a college for students who applied to that school in the past, specifically from Lancaster Catholic. It's one thing to look at a college and see the average GPA is a 3.3 and the average SAT is a 1200, but these scattergrams give students the opportunity to see where did how did students do with their admission from Lancaster Catholic. All of this information here, students will never be able to see who these data points belong to, but they'll get an idea of where they're at. Eventually, once your student has taken a test, they'll get their own little point to see where they fall on a scattergram so they can get a realistic idea of is a school a good fit for them or not. College maps. There are a number of different college maps in here. One of them is, this is our top 20 most popular schools among LCHS students from over the years. You can see most of them based in Pennsylvania, but another way to visualize where students are going. Students can look up schools and see their Naviance profiles. Lots of good information in here about net price, how many students are graduating on time, overall acceptance rate, again, what kinds of clubs and activities, how hard is it to get in, how much does it cost. Tons and tons of information, including deadlines, and what these schools are looking for when students apply. So they can get all the information that they need rather than going, for instance, to Temple University's website, which they could click on right here. That might be spread out across temple.edu, whereas all that information that a student needs to help them make an admissions decision, that's all right here within Naviance. Other college tools, they can compare a couple schools at one time, side by side, to see what the differences might be. There's another college search is very similar to Supermatch that's looking at student preferences for schools. College visits. All of our college reps that come in register through Naviance, and then students register for those visits through Naviance as well. We also hope to have some career speakers come in the winter and springtime that students will be able to visit with. As I mentioned, letters of rec and transcripts go through here, and there's a scholarship search as well. So as I mentioned before, students can add schools to a list of colleges I'm thinking about in grades 9 through 11, and eventually we're going to get them to move those schools over to colleges I'm applying to, where they can do a lot of their application process and keep it all organized here in senior year. So that is a quick overview of Naviance. It's one of those things where it might seem intimidating at first, but I promise you, once you start to dig in and your student starts to dig in to see all the resources that are available, they're going to find that it's a huge part of their high school career and it can help them a lot. So again, registration codes for parents will be going out right before Christmas break of 2018. So you can go to this link to access the Lancaster Catholic Naviance student page. Once you get to that page, if you haven't logged in yet and you have your registration code, you're going to click on I need to register, put in that registration code you received in an email, and then you will put in an email address for yourself and a password that you can remember. That will give you access to view your student's Naviance account. So you can see a little bit about what they're working on, and especially as they get closer to senior year, and as they're in senior year, you can help walk them through the college application process if your student is going the college route. It really pulls back the curtain on those things so you can see what they're up to. If you have questions about Naviance, please reach out to your student school counselor. We're so excited to have this resource available to you, and we're here to help you and your student with it. Thanks so much for watching this video, and we hope you have a good one. Bye-bye.